Hey everyone, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatry Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode, more of an editorial again. And in this particular editorial, I'd like to kind of offer my opinions on some of the YouTube videos that I've seen on the new MacBook Pro 2016. There are a ton of these videos out there. They're usually entitled things like the new MacBook sucks or something like that. And then when you actually watch these videos, what you realize almost universally is that these people have never really even touched a MacBook. They're basing their opinion on spec sheets, and that's about it. There are a few people out there that have reviewed the small little MacBook Pro, which is the really basic entry level one, and they're basing their opinions on that. But the MacBook Pro line is a big line, and so I'd like to offer my 2 cents on that too. So I guess maybe I'm as bad as the rest of those people that are offering opinion. So what is going on with Mac? So I think one of the problems that you have with Mac, and this is not really a problem, is that they have developed these really great products. They've developed these products that basically other companies have copied. I mean, Android came out and it looks very much like iOS. I know it's different, but it's basically that same sort of icon-driven, touchscreen-driven product. You look at a lot of the new laptops, they look very, very much like MacBook Pros nowadays. Some of them are different. Some of them are definitely more innovative. But Apple has developed these products that people like to use. And they like to use them for a couple of reasons. I can tell you why I like to use the Mac products. It's because they tend to be extremely reliable. They tend to last a very, very long time. They're stylish, and that's important too. And they're easy to use. Now, I will tell you, I come out of a system where I was building Windows computers for myself and for friends for many years. I was buying Windows computers and Windows laptops for many, many years. I was doing video editing since at least 2000 or so on a computer and building the computers because the video computers were too expensive to buy, so I was just building my own. And my general impression why I switched over to the Mac system is because even if I would buy a computer, the computers, their longevity was not very good. After 2 years, I was sick of the computer. After 3 years, I had to get a new one because it was just running like trash, or it wasn't booting up, or things were blowing up on it, or whatever. Now, I will tell you that I have a 2008 MacBook Pro that I gave to my daughter a number of years ago when I was no longer using it. She still uses that in high school, although she uses another computer too, but she uses that really quite a bit, and it works just fine. It runs well. This is from 2008, and it's a laptop. The main computer that I use at home is a 2008 Mac Pro, so those big giant monster tower kind of things. And really, it works just fine too. My only issue with it is I'm running out of disk space after all these years, so I'm going to have to do a little shuffling. But that computer works just fine too. Think about that. We're talking about, this is almost 2017, 2008. We're talking about an almost 9-year-old couple computers that are still functioning and are still a pleasure to use. So let's look at this new MacBook Pro. What are the big complaints? Well, the biggest complaint probably is price, and I would have to agree with that. I think Apple is going a little bit crazy. They need to lower their prices a bit. Otherwise, they're going to lose this huge group of individuals that are going to drift into other venues. They can drift into the Chrome system if they have very light needs. They can drift into all these really kind of cool and innovative Windows computers. And so Apple's kind of dropping the ball here, and they need to really be more aware that you just can't. There is an Apple tax, but no one is going to pay some incredible price when they can get something that works just as well for them for maybe half that. So I have an issue with that. But what about design and function? Well, here I don't have an issue. I think the software, first of all, the hardware, although it may not be the latest, greatest, is going to work just fine with anything you have to do, and people will be more than pleased because what you're making up in a little bit slower processor is incredibly fast. An SD drive. I mean, just incredibly fast, the fastest one that's out there on any laptop from what I hear. And so with good memory and a good SD drive, a little bit slower processor is not going to make that much difference. The other thing is that if you're using a program like Final Cut Pro, that program is optimized for the Mac and will even run on very subpar computers like the MacBook. So it's certainly going to run on a MacBook Pro, and it's really one of the higher end ones incredibly well, and you'll be able to do your 4K video and all of that. Adobe Premiere, well, Adobe seems like they've created code for the Mac, but they just have not optimized that code. And even in bygone days, it just never ran that fast, so that's really more of an Adobe issue. But things like Photoshop are going to run just fine, as will Lightroom and other intensive programs. And of course, any Office type program is going to run phenomenally well. You don't need any kind of a computer to do that nowadays. So as far as the hardware is concerned, what you're really looking at are these continual refinements. Yes, the butterfly keys don't travel as far, but they're great keys. The trackpad has always been superior. Now it's huge, and that's a welcome right there. It's always been big, and it's always been just a great trackpad, but now it's even bigger. That OLED touch bar is wonderful, and I think, yes, you might be able to learn the shortcut keys for things, but isn't it great that you're going to have this bar with that information on there, so you can just use things effortlessly. You're not always remembering, was it shift click this, shift click that, I can't remember, I'm just going to use the drop down menu instead. This way you'll have that available, and that definitely will speed up your work. I don't think Mac has ever wanted to be a Windows computer. I don't think they've ever or a Chromebook where you have the touch screen. They have their iPads for that. I think they really see their computers in a different way, but that's, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. I do think you're going to get a thinner computer. I've heard people complain about Apple's obsession with thinness, but I'll tell you, if you carry around a computer at all, what do you want? You want light and thin. That's what you want, and that's what Apple is delivering. And really, these USB-C ports are the wave of the future. And this dongle gate thing is not a big deal, because in a short time there'll be, of course, peripherals that will connect to the USB-C. There are already a ton out there. And you can get a very tiny little dongle for like third party for almost nothing to put your USB-A drives in. And certainly you can get a little SD card reader that is as big as a stick of gum if you need to read SD cards. These are not major deals. These are not deal breakers. It's not like you have to bring a monitor or something with you. It's just, these are little tiny things. So what are you going to get? You're going to get phenomenal construction. You're going to get a really state-of-the-art industrial design. You're going to get a future-minded computer as far as ports are concerned. You're going to get practical innovation with this OLED display or this little touch bar, and with this ginormous trackpad. So this really is going to be an improvement over the prior MacBooks. But should it be radically different? Well, why would you mess with the winning formula? I think Windows tried that when they went to Windows, was it Windows 8, that didn't have the start menu? No one wanted that. No one could figure it out. So we want to have progress, but if we have a good product, what we also want is we want to have consistency. So you don't have to relearn Word every time it comes out with a new version, and you don't have to relearn how to use your computer every time a new operating system comes out. So basically, I think the MacBook already is a hit. It will continue to be a hit. You'll have to make your decision on that massive amount of money. That really is the kicker right there. But all the other stuff is all good, and I think it's not going to impact. If anything, it's going to improve the computer, and just things will be better. Just like losing the super drive made things better in the long run, because you went from a computer that was this thick to a computer that was this thick. In fact, I'm using a MacBook Pro right now to record this because I'm at my office, and it's probably about half as thick as the one that I gave my daughter. Do I like that? Yes, I do. So anyway, just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, put it down in the comments. Just be polite. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. It's really varied, and we talk about a lot of different stuff. And two other additional things. I do a podcast. I've done it since, I think, 2006 or even longer than that. And it's on wellness topics, current events, psychiatric topics. In the last year or so, I've been doing it with my co-host, who's my wife. So I'm a board certified psychiatrist. She's a licensed clinical psychologist, so we can butt heads a little bit. And we talk about, our last show was on the election. So it's on topical stuff, it's on interesting stuff. Give it a listen, find it on iTunes, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed. And the last thing is I also have a blog now. It's drmikekuna.com, drmikekuna.com. This is an experiment that I'm doing. So I'm trying to improve my writing skills. I'm trying to be more honest in my writing. I'm trying to be more real. And so if you want some insight in me, you can go to that blog. And none of these make any money for me. These are not profit centers, or I don't have some grand theme. I'm just kind of going with the flow. So take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.